Hello, everybody, and welcome. I wanted to put out a video. Well, I already did a video today. It was a very brief one. Wasn't intentional at all. um, I wanted to put out a video of survival Minecraft, but didn't really want to go back to the normal world because despite the fact that current plans for that world are to fight the dragon, it's getting a bit dull. Hopefully that won't be permanent. I know eventually I'll go back to it no matter what happens. But for now, even though it's probably that one thing that pretty much every single Minecraft channel ever does, and it seems a bit it's not really original at all, but I'm going to do a tutorial series. And so I'm going to be starting from the very beginning when you just first launch the game. When you first launch the game of Minecraft, you'll notice you get this screen here. You get some legal text here and the current version of the game here. Now we can go and click this option and we can change the language that the game is going to be in. And so, if I want it to be pirates, when I first saw that, I found it amusing, but it is hilarious. Yeah. But there's a lot of different languages available. I'm going to stick to the United States English. It's pretty much exactly the same as all the other versions of English. Not much of a difference. It's just English in general. Um, if we go in here, we get options. This is your field of view. I'll get into that later. Skin customization. You only really need to get into that if you're making your own skins. Music and sounds. You can go in here to adjust different sounds. I'm going to turn everything on except music to enrich the tutorial, and I'll turn that down a bit for the video. But music I'm going to keep off because even though the music's not copyrighted and I can have it in the video all I want, well, I think even if the music is copyrighted, you won't get in trouble if you have it in your video because trust me, I haven't seen any factual statistics or whatever, however it's pronounced, but just common sense can tell you that with all the Minecraft videos out there, just think of how many people still have the music on in the video. Like, if it was a legal issue, I'm pretty sure Mojang would have made it unable for people to make Minecraft videos just because it's easier than suing all the people who forget to turn that off. So I'm just turning it off because some of them can be a bit loud, and I want you to be able to hear me as I tell you what to do. And also I'm just used to having it off as well, so but weather, I have that off for convenience because all that is really is the rain and the rain sound effect and the thunder sound effect, which the thunder sound effect isn't that bad, but trust me, if you've ever played this game before, you know the rain sound effect gets very annoying very fast. And the only other way to disable it is setting your particles to minimal, which I'll go over in a bit. And until the 1.7 update, that was the only option. So the only option before 1.7 to get rid of the rain sound effect was to decrease the graphic quality of the game. The graphical quality, the visual quality. But now they have this option here, so we can just turn that off independently. Hostile creatures would be, the hostile creatures, the monsters. players would be like the player walking around taking damage. Jukebox and note blocks, pretty self-explanatory. Blocks is like a block being placed or broken. Friendly creatures is basically anything that won't kill you. That moves around like a hostile creature, except it won't kill you. Ambient and environment is pretty much most other sounds in the game, so like the cave sounds and stuff like that. And other ones. I think lava and water sound effects are in that as well. Although I'm not too sure about that. And if you go into video settings, you can change your graphics to fancy or fast. You can adjust your smooth lighting to maximum, off, minimum. 3D anaglyph. That's if you have the red and blue 3D glasses. The game can be in 3D. The GUI scale. Yeah. I keep it on large. Clouds on and off. I'll keep them on. Full screen. I'm going to keep that off because not only I need room underneath the window for the little recording tab there. It doesn't need to be there. Like, I can just have it minimized off, but it's just, I just find it easier to have there. And also, if I were to enable this, it would set it so that it won't have these normal borders here. It would, like, anything that's like the game textures here would just be from the very corner of the screen to the very corner of the screen. And for some reason, my recording software glitches out if it tries to record something like that. So, VBOs, don't know what that stands for, but creates lag if you have it on. But my computer is good enough to handle that being on. Render distance, that's how far you can see. You can go up to 32, however, my computer cannot handle that, so I'm just going to keep it down at 16, which was the max before they increased it to 32, which I think was this update. Max frame rate. This basically, what it does is, if you're experiencing issues where your frame rate is like jumping from one value to a drastically different value, like very quickly, because that doesn't create lag or frame rate issues, but it creates a jumpiness effect, so you can set the limit to the lower frame rate you're getting, and it won't go any higher than that, and it'll make it smooth. However, I keep it on unlimited because I use VSync to make the video smoother. I'll go over that in a second. View bobbing. Basically what that is when you're walking around, your view like bobs around, and you can disable that. Brightness. Basically, if something isn't being completely lit by direct sunlight, this will change how quickly it'll get dark and how dark is the darkest dark possible. Particles. That's like the torch particles, and when you're running, that creates particles. Rain creates particles, and it'll turning it to minimal will also disable the rain sound. And basically, there's a lot of particles, and I can have them all. I can have it on all because my computer's that amazing. However, pretty much every computer out there that's not designed for gaming, turn it down. VSync, what that does is it limits the game's frame rate to the maximum frame rate of your monitor. And so basically, even if this is set to unlimited, whatever frame rate your monitor is getting, it'll limit the game to that. And with my monitor, that's 60. So I can have this turned down to that, or I can keep it up to here and turn that on. It's still limiting my frame rate to the same number. It's not making a difference. It's just different options. And alternate blocks, that's new in this update. Basically, blocks like grass and other things like that, I don't know the complete list of them. The only one I can remember is grass, and it has different textures for I've only seen the different textures for the top, but it'll randomly select a texture out of the group, and you can turn it off to just have it just one texture. I don't know how that affects performance, but what I've got here is the maximum visual quality, except for this, but that we don't care about that. And it's the least performance friendly. However, my computer can handle it, so the performance downside isn't noticed. Next, if we go into language, it's the same as before. Resource packs. This is a resource pack is basically you can change the texture of the game, and you can change sounds of the game, and you can also add more sounds that can be triggered with a command. Super secret settings. That basically activates shaders that's built into the game, and it'll randomly select the sound from the game's sound files, and it'll make random alterations to it, so you can get some pretty interesting sounds from that. Broadcast settings, that is if you have your Mojang account linked with your Twitch account. I actually forget the credentials used to create my Minecraft account, so I cannot migrate my Minecraft account to a Mojang account, so I would never be able to use that. Controls, this is what you can use to adjust the controls of the game. I'll just scroll through it slowly so I don't have to explain the controls as much later on. And these things up here you can probably assume pretty much. Chat settings. This is mainly in multiplayer. This is how far across the screen it'll stretch. This is how far up it'll go before it'll start to become unfocused. Or I don't know. I shouldn't try and reduce debug info. Never noticed that. Oh well. I'm not the person who should go over that. I've never messed around with that before. Snooper settings. Basically, if you allow this, it's giving Mojang permission to look into your computer and see your game performance. They aren't doing anything malicious with this. They're just using it to figure out how the game is performing on your computer. And basically, they don't have much to learn from me because I've got a decent computer that can handle the game pretty nicely. I've got 8 CPU cores. I've never noticed that. I never knew that. You learn something new every day. Great. I was probably told that at one point in time, but forgot. But I'm like, this is mainly for people who use older computers. They can figure out what's going on and like see what's taking up what amount of space and what. And basically using that, they can better optimize the game to run better on older computers. And that's in the options menu. Quit game will obviously quit the game. Minecraft Realms. This is basically this is basically the multiplayer, except Mojang will host the server for you for a price. However, if you're just going to join into somebody else's realm, that's completely free. Multiplayer is, like I said, oh, there's 2 people on the server. Oh well, can't say hi to them. Doing a video. Basically what this is people can host multiplayer servers, and they can just do it on their own computer, or they can do it on a professional server, like an actual server stack and not just like a Minecraft server, if you know what I mean. And basically that's the multiplayer in the game. You can join a server by going here and or you can double click, and if you know the IP off the top of your head but don't want to add it to your list, you can just type it in there and click join. And I'll use this server because I don't know. And if you want to change things about the server, you can hit edit, and you can delete the server, and you can refresh the entire list. You can add a new one. Same as the edit screen, except it doesn't have the IP yet. And also, you may have seen that there. You can basically, that is what if this is enabled, it will allow the server to force you to use a certain resource pack. But if you disable that, then you'll have to install the resource pack yourself if it's required. But if it's not, then oh well, you just don't have it. And now we finally get to the fun part. Single player. That's what we're going over here. Now, here, you've got some options as well. You've got the cancel button, just like in multiplayer, to go back. If you select the world, you can double-click it and join it that way, or hit play selected world. You can rename it, and you can delete it. Or you can do recreate, which brings you to the create new world screen, except it'll take the seed of the world, and the seed is what it uses to randomly generate the world. And so, even though it's randomly generated, if you use the same seed for 2 worlds, they'll be the same, even though it's still randomly generated. And basically, this will copy the seed over for you, but you can manually copy over the seed if you don't already have the world in here. You can also disable structures, so that's like villages and dungeons. You see the description there. You can also change the world type. Oh, sorry about that. I just had to go do something real quick. And as you can see in the customized one, you don't have the option to change structure generation. You can also disable or enable the bonus chest, and basically what that is near the player's spawn point when they first spawn into the world. If this is enabled, it'll spawn in a little single chest containing some items to get started with. And then allow cheats, that basically is whether or not you can use commands in the game in single player. However, I'm going to leave that off. And I'm going to turn the bonus chest on because bonus chests are fun. And here you can select survival, hardcore, creative, and basically survival, it has descriptions there. I'll let you read those. What that basically means is when you die, it'll delete the world. So, don't die in hardcore if you like the world. It also locks the game to hard. You can't change it. And then we give the world a name. And I'm going to name the world after the series, and it's going to be Minecraft 101. And we're going to create new world. It's about time. 18 minutes in, and we're finally playing the game. It's just going to generate the world. It's going to take a bit longer the first time because it needs to generate everything. Now, with the way the worlds work is it loads the world in chunks. You can see the chunks generating there. Basically, the way chunks work is a single chunk is 16 blocks. This is one block. It's 16 by 16 in 256 bedrock to build limit. Or 255, I believe. I don't know. And since I only have it set to 16 on my render distance, it will go out 16 chunks from my player, and then it'll fade out to fog. And basically, if I were to increase that, it'll just go out, and since it's maximum, instead of fading out to fog, it just goes out and is left as a square. However, if we go into F3, you can see that I'm not getting the best frame rate. So I'm going to bring that down back down to 16. And the reason why the game loads in chunks is because a Minecraft world, when you consider the area space of a Minecraft world, because Minecraft worlds are finite in size, if you keep walking, you will reach an end. However, that end is so far away, get this, one Minecraft world is actually bigger than the Earth. That's a true fact. And imagine having your poor old computer trying to load that entire world all at once. It would never happen. It would never happen. Your computer would die. And that's why the game loads in chunks. So it's not generating the entire world at the same time. As you explore out, though, it'll generate the chunks before you get to them, so it seems like it's already generated when it already isn't. So, like, beyond my render distance, the world is still completely empty, like nothing there. However, if I walk over there, it'll be fully generated before I get there. And if you get too far away from a chunk, it'll unload, so it's no longer having to load that. So even if you do go all the way out to the edge, this area would not be loaded. However, that's a lie, because since this is near the spawn area, it will be loaded. Because in every single world, even in multiplayer, the spawn chunks, the chunks where the player spawns in, are going to be loaded 24/7. As long as the world, if it's a server, then as long as the server is online, if it's possible for people to join the server, those chunks are loaded. If it's single player, as long as you're playing in the world, those chunks are loaded. Those are the only chunks forced to load. And if you go back into the F3 menu, you've got all the debug data. It has your X, Y, and Z coordinates there. Oh, I just got the achievement. Yippee! And basically, what that is that's your location within the world. It increases by 1 with each block you travel. So I'm on this block here, and my X value is 78. However, I do believe X is this direction here. So if I now move over here, I'm now on block 77 on the X value. And it works the same for all of them. Okay, I was looking at my Z value there, which is about 200, and thought it was my Y value, and I was wondering how are there blocks above the build limit, but no, that's my Z. My Y is 68. And another thing is, this game was made in Sweden, and so it does not use the American measurement systems. And so a block is 1 meter, which is about 3 feet, in all directions. So it's a perfect cube. And so, yeah. The player is 2 blocks tall, so that's approximately, well, about 2 blocks tall, so that's about 2 meters, which is about 6 feet, which is the average height of your average human. So, yippee. I'm normal. I'm blocks, but I'm normal. Height-wise. I'm wasting the day here. Jeez. Let's get started. Trying to think of other things I should be explaining, but I can't think of anything else at the moment. Too bad we didn't get a stone pick. That if you get a stone pick in your bonus chest, this chest that I just got here does not always spawn the bonus chest option, which I covered earlier. If you disable that, then if you leave that disabled, then that chest will not be there. And I'll also get these sugarcane over here. And I know of the myth that they grow faster on, because these can only be planted on dirt and sand and grass. And I know of the myth that it grows fastest on sand. That is not true. that is not true. If you go through the effort to decompile the game code and you take the time to look through the game code, there's nothing that says it'll grow faster on sand. And since this is a simulation game on a computer, that means it is 100% impossible for it to grow faster on sand. Just gonna cover that now. I'm just looking for trees at the moment. The game also uses a biome system. What time is it? It's about midday still. And basically what the biome system is different biomes would be like a plains biome, which is what we're in now, the ocean biome, which is that over there, a desert biome, a forest biome, and since there's no seasons in the game, there's also winter biomes. So, getting eggs from these chickens. Yum yum. I think we're on an island. That would be fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. If we ended up being on an island with no trees. I think we are. God. Oh, man, that's frustrating. You didn't. Yeah. I have to teach you how to play this game using a world that has barely any resources at all. Fantastic. I'm gonna make a boat and sail off. It's a good thing I got my starter chest going there, because otherwise we'd be stranded. Well, we could swim, but a boat is more fun and faster. I'm just gonna get those sugarcane over there as well. Oh, there's a zombie. And like I said earlier, this terrain here is completely generated randomly. It's all randomly generated based off the seed. And so I will put the seed in the description so that you can play along if you want. However, at the point in time when I'm recording this video, there's only I've only got about 15 subscribers. And a video takes about 3 weeks to get a view, so I highly doubt there'll be people playing along. I highly doubt there'll be people watching in the first place, but I don't care. I cannot use that as an excuse to be lazy and not make videos, because then when I finally do get people watching my videos, I will be lazy and not upload videos for them. It's about night. It's getting dark. I have good timing. I set sail at night, so I'm safe from the mobs in the first night. Excellent. Oh, there's a desert over there, it looks like. Maybe we might find a temple. I don't know. It's getting night, so I'm only going to risk taking the stop if I see a temple near the coast. Even if there is a temple, I won't be able to loot it, so I guess I'll just leave a mental note and come back. Oh, there's a village over there. Never mind. We're stopping. Desert village, everybody. There's life. It's been so long since I've actually seen a village in this game, because I've just been unlucky in my past worlds so far. Hopefully we can save the villagers when night officially comes, because apparently it was not getting dark. I was just... Tree! It's about time. It is setting, though. I'll mine the tree. I'll chop the tree in the morning. Which will be a long wait if I don't get a bed, which I most likely won't, because there's no sheep in deserts. There's no animals in deserts. But, oh dear, there's zombies attacking it already. Where'd they come from? See that sand collapsed in there? I think that might be a zombie dungeon. He died. Let's dig in here. No, it's not. That's sandstone. This is natural generated. I'm amazed. This game is... Where is all the zombies coming from? Because I just heard another one. I'll chop him with my axe. See? Safe in here? Decent trade. Oh, you've already got your second unlocked. Fire aspect 1. I'll save you. I'll spare your life. If you want to protect a villager from death, you just block off their door. And then mobs can't kill it. I'm going to want to stay in the area, though, so that things don't spawn in the house. Oh. Yeah, I'll keep you. If we lose a villager, if we lose other villagers, we can just breed more in the future. You know, I'll probably live here in the desert. It'll probably be the very first time I've ever lived in the desert. I've always lived in more lush areas with more life. But, yeah. Me and old Freddy here. Freddy, I'm going to keep you alive forever. And I'm going to start with that. Yeah. Well, let's see if I can explain some more things while we wait for the night to pass. Villagers are non-player characters. They count as entities. Oh man, don't get me talking about entities. I'll be talking about that for a long time, just covering different examples. Yeah. Basically, their main purpose in the game is trading with them. And pretty much every single trade involves emeralds in some way. And if you can breed them by giving them 3, I think it's wheat or bread, I don't know. Oh, there's monsters out there. It's very scary, Freddy. You gotta save me from the skeletons, right, Freddy? Freddy? Speak to me! Oh, well. Freddy over there is a librarian. Yeah. Says so right there. I actually didn't read that. I just knew off the top of my head because of the robe color. That's not racist. As you can see, they all have the same skin color. They just have different clothes. Just like normal society. However, in 1.8, that title there is more... can get more specific than the robe color, so... Librarian is actually a general... Actually, I think Librarian is the only option for the white one, but the farmers for sure can have many different options, like there's Fletchers and actual farmers and fishermen and stuff like that that you can get with the normal farmers. Whereas it used to be just farmer. Farmer Joe. First farmer I get, I'm naming Joe. Yes. They're running around there. Their AI should be telling them to run indoors, but I guess I did block off all the nearby doors that they can get to. So yeah. The villages here are randomly generated as well, so their layouts will be different, and the houses will be different. There's set houses, like the houses are copied from templates. However, their location within the village is going to be different. Pretty much the only similarities with villages is the well there. Pretty much everything else is randomly decided. And when the game generates a village, the well is the center point it generates from. However, the locations of all the doors determines the center of the actual village, because you can create your own villages on your own if you get villagers indoors. In fact, you only need doors, really. And if you build a structure that counts as a house according to the game, and you get a certain amount of them, it'll create a village region around that area, and the area in the center of all the doors is going to be the center of the village. And there's a bunch of mods out there that help you visualize that, but I won't get into it too much. I just ate 2 apples. I'm a hungry man. Hungry, hungry, hungry. What else? Let's talk about entities and stuff like that. My tutorial series is going to be a lot more technical than pretty much every single tutorial series I've ever seen. So I guess I do have some differences. I actually understand the game. Hostile and peaceful mobs have 2 separate entity counts. And then there's a 3rd count for just miscellaneous entities, like including the player. Hi, Freddy. I'm talking. And basically what the entity counts are for is it's to limit the mob spawning. And so basically the reason for that is if there's already 50 hostile creatures within a small area, it'd be a bit much for the game to keep spawning more. So if it reaches a certain amount of hostile mobs in one area, it'll stop spawning them until it frees up more until they are either despawned or killed to make more space for new ones. And the same goes for peaceful mobs. Hello, creeper. How you doing down there? You want to blow up, I know. I understand. You must resist the urge. He walked away. He doesn't care about me. And entities are also a very big contributor to lag. So in terms of build up, like the amount of entities to amount of lag ratio is probably the worst. And so, like, if I were to just, like, have a bunch of, like, block updates going on somewhere, which would be, like, pistons firing and or doors opening and closing and stuff like that, or blocks being placed or broken, or plants growing. If I had a ton of that going on in a small area, or just in an area in general, it wouldn't create much lag. But if I had the same amount of entities in that area, it'll create significantly more lag. I don't know why. I don't understand that technically. I don't understand it that much. I just know that more sticks means more lag. Yes. That is a very scientific answer. Freddy, even though it is now a new day, I will leave you trapped in this house, as to not run the risk of confusing you with other villagers, or you dying for some stupid reason. Because remember, we are in a desert. I do not want your AI bringing you into a cactus while I'm not around. Cool? Alright. In the morning, skeletons and zombies will burn up, and spiders will become friendly until you provoke them. However, creepers will still be hostile, and they will still creep up on you silently, and they'll still blow up in your face. And Endermen, which are just like spiders except all the time, and if you look at them, it'll provoke them. Although they'll teleport to darker areas in the day. You can see that there was some sort of zombie apocalypse last night, I mean. But it should be safe to leave the house now. I'm gonna get my wood ready so that I can block off Freddy nice and quickly. See you tonight, Freds. Oh, creeper. Now, since the creeper's in water, it won't break the blocks when it goes kaboom. However, it will deal damage to mobs, so I may have taken a few hearts of damage, but didn't have to kill the zombies. Alright. Because the amount of hunger it'll take for me to regain the health is probably less than the amount of hunger I would waste killing the zombies and the occasional damage I would take for them. And with that, I should probably go over the basic stats here and like basic playing the game. You can see here the health bar. You've got 10 hearts, and each heart is 2 points, so that's 20 points of health. And so, like, if you have 19, it'll be 9 hearts and 1 half heart. I'll show you what that would look like now. See? It's now a half heart. And down here, you've got your hunger bar. And basically, if it's full, you're full. If it's empty, you're empty. Can't get any more simple, can it? And basically, jumping, sprinting, I think even breaking blocks, fighting enemies, and regaining health all cost hunger. And you've also got a saturation bar. And basically what that is different food items will replenish your hunger bar at different amounts. So if you're only 1 unit down, and the hunger bar is also the same number as the health bar, it's 20 but 10 symbols. But if your hunger is at 19 and you eat a food item that replenishes it by 5, the remaining 4 will go into your saturation bar. And basically the saturation bar is basically the extended hunger bar. If your saturation is above 0, it'll basically treat your saturation bar as another hunger bar until it reaches 0, then it'll move on to your displayed hunger bar there. And I think the lower your hunger gets, the faster it goes, but I'm not sure about that. And a pro tip would be to, like, along areas where you travel frequently, you put half slabs so that you don't have to jump. However, I never do that because I can't be bothered. Unless I make the path on my own. Like you'll see in my normal survival world, I've got the paths going around my mountain. And those have the half slabs just because it looks nice and it's convenient because you don't have to press space every so often. And let's get some food, shall we? If there's a farmer villager in this village that survived the night, then you should come around and, like, harvest and replant these. But I'm gonna do it before he does, because if he does it, I don't think he drops it. Although when they first added that functionality, when I was testing around with it, they didn't drop the items that they harvest. But I think it might have changed by now, but I'm not sure. And this is your inventory. You press E to get to it. Down here's your hotbar. You use the scroll wheel to scroll through it. You can also use the numbers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you've got the rest of your inventory here. You can use your mouse to click through. If you click and drag, it'll split the stack like that. It's better with a bigger stack. And if you hold up an item and go over to another one, or just like, yeah, if you just double click, it'll bring every item that can be stacked with it into the one stack. And if you, that was all using left click. If you right click, does that. Because you saw with this, it splits it evenly. Whereas this just puts one down. And if it's in the slot like that and you right click, it'll split it evenly. And if you press a number on your hotbar while you have it selected, it'll move it to that slot on your hotbar. And if there's an item there, it'll swap the two. And you can also shift click to move it up and down, and into inventories. I'll show that with a chest here. Freddy, I'm coming in. Get away from the door so you don't run out and have to chase you down and lose you. You can also shift things in and out of inventories like this, and you can also number key them. And all the little draggy tricks in here also work in there. And also, I believe you've got like multiple stacks here. Yeah. Double clicking will move them all into your inventory, as well as stacking them. And, oh wow, we're at 46 minutes. Okay, as soon as I finish going the inventory, I'll end the episode. Here's another one. If there's a block in the world and you have a block on your hotbar and you have the same block on your hotbar, if you mouse over that block and press the middle mouse button, it'll automatically move your selected slot to that item. And that also works in creative, where except if you don't have that block in your hotbar, it'll create that block in your hotbar. So that's a little pro tip for creative. I was about to say I'm out of food, but no, I'm not. I got carrots. They're good for your eyes. Did you know that, Freddy? Yeah. I just know I'm going to accidentally call you Freckles one of these days. It's gonna happen. You just wait. These are your armor slots. Helmet, chest plate, leggings, boots. In terms of which ones you should get first, you want to go for the chest plate, then your leggings, then your helmet, then your boots. And that is listed in the amount of resources that they take to craft. So a chest piece would be the most expensive, where boots would be the cheapest. And the amount of resources a armor piece takes will actually affect how well it protects you. And I think that's about it for now. This is your basic crafting menu in here. So I craft the crafting table. Got another one here, and it's got a bigger one here for more complex recipes. This is your skin. If you press F1, it'll hide your GUI. Guided user interface is what I believe that stands for. If you press F2, it'll take a screenshot. Unfortunately, Freckles is facing away. If you F3, it'll bring this up again. If you hit F5, it'll go into third-person mode. Hit it again, it'll bring you into second-person mode. Hit it again, it'll bring it back into first person. F8 used to enable the cinematic camera. However, for some reason, they unbound the key, and it's not bound to anything at all, I believe. Yeah, toggle cinematic camera. I'm just gonna put it back on F8 for now because I'm used to it being there. Yeah, cinematic cam. F11 will toggle full screen mode. However, I will not demonstrate that here because it'll screw up the recording. And I think that's about it for key commands. Alright, shift will make you crouch. Makes you move slower. And if you're on a block, you can't, like, fall off. Okay, that was a bad example. Yeah, you can't fall off if you're shifting. And tab, that's mainly for, like, if you're using commands. It'll tab complete them, but I can't demonstrate it here because I don't have them enabled. And also in multiplayer, if you just hit tab when you're not in chat, it'll bring up a list of the players currently online. If you hold control, it'll make you automatically sprint. You can also sprint by double tapping W. If you have an item in your hand and you press Q, it'll throw the item. If you also have your cursor over an item in your inventory, press Q, it'll throw it. And if you hold shift, I believe it is. No, it's control, and it'll throw the whole stack. Same within your inventory. T to open chat. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, if you're just going to enter a command, if you have those enabled, you can just press slash and it'll open chat with the slash already inserted. Arrow keys don't do anything. Okay. Yep, that should be it for now. Didn't really cover much gameplay-wise. However, pretty much all the nitty-gritty technical stuff about the game covered. Never gonna have to talk about it again. And, so, yeah. See you guys in the next one.